advice to underclassmen is to take every chance at extra credit. Xander would like to thank his mom and dad for their love and support. Number 3, Connor Martin. Connor is escorted by his parents, Greg and Kelly Martin. Connor has been playing soccer for 14 years and is a 2-year varsity player. He is a senior team captain. Connor's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline 3-2 on JV his sophomore year. Next year, Connor plans to attend college, studying either engineering or natural science. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to play every moment like it's your last and always leave it all on the field. Connor would like to thank Coach Ryan Williams, who has seen him through his soccer career since age 9, and of course, his mom and dad. Number 5, Jason Head. Jason is escorted by his parents, Eric and Kelly Head. Jason has been playing soccer for 13 years and is a 2-year varsity player. He is a senior team captain. Jason's favorite soccer memory is when he and his brother both played for SASA on different teams and attended a tournament in Ohio, and both teams won their championship games. Next year, Jason plans to study mechanical engineering in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to slow down and enjoy every moment. High school goes by so fast. Enjoy it while you can. Jason would like to thank Coach John Soderman for making every practice and game fun and being there to discuss soccer and anything else going on. He would also like to thank his mom and dad and 2 brothers who have been his biggest supporters. There for him every step of the way. Number 6, Eric Kent. Eric is escorted by his parents, Eric and Nicole Kent. Eric has been playing soccer for 12 years and is a 2-year varsity player. Eric's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline on JV his sophomore year after losing 4-0 to them earlier this season. Next year, Eric plans to study engineering and physics in college. His advice to underclassmen teammates is to leave everything on the field. You never want to leave the field thinking that you could have done more or better. Eric would like to thank Ryan Williams for being an amazing first coach, teaching him to love the game and introducing him to the competitive aspect of the game. He would also like to thank Tommy McMenemy for helping him improve and take his game to the next level. And finally, his parents, who contributed the time and energy to make sure that he was where he needed to be and everything necessary to be successful. Number 7, Hayden Lawrence. Hayden is escorted by his parents, Rich and Lisa Lawrence, and his brothers, Cole and Rule. Hayden has been playing soccer all his life and is a 1-year varsity player. He is a senior team captain. Hayden's favorite soccer memory is playing Toronto FC at the BMO training grounds with Michael Bradley watching the game. Next year, Hayden plans to attend college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is don't get caught up in the little things. Enjoy the experience of playing for your high school and representing the program. Hayden would like to thank his parents who have stressed the importance of putting school first while still playing soccer. Number 8, James Kolozinski. James is escorted by his parents, Melissa and David Kolozinski. James has been playing soccer for 11 years as a 1-year varsity player. James' favorite soccer memory is scoring a goal against Skyline in the first minute of the game during his JV season. Next year, James plans to study computer science in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is give 100% effort all the time. You never know when your opportunity will come. James would like to thank his parents, his sister, and all of his coaches who have helped guide him throughout his soccer career as a player and a student. Number 9, Ian Winslow. Ian is escorted by his parents, Jim and Eleanor Winslow. Ian has been playing soccer for 13 years and is a 1-year varsity player. Ian's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline his sophomore year on JV. Next year, Ian plans to study business in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to enjoy your high school experience because it goes by fast. Ian would like to thank his club soccer coach, Moan Obando, and his parents. Number 11, Noel Sampa. Noel is escorted by his mom, Sarah Ladd. Noel's been playing soccer for 14 years and is a 2-year varsity player. soccer memory is winning the Wolves Hawks tournament. Noah plans to attend college next year and maybe play soccer in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to leave it all on the field. Noah would like to thank all of his coaches and his family. Number 13, Zeke Gray. Zeke is escorted by his parents, Steve and Emily Gray. Zeke has been playing soccer for 12 years and is a 3-year varsity player. Zeke's favorite soccer memory is scoring a goal from 35 yards out against Monroe. Next year, Zeke plans to study education or business at Michigan State University. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to work hard in games and even harder in practices. Zeke would like to thank his parents and his friends. In his absence, number 15, Jamison Barker, I'm still going to read his bio here. Jamison's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline his sophomore year on JV after losing to them at the start of the season. Next year, Jamison plans to study engineering in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is try not to get discouraged and keep a positive outlook on everything. Jamison would like to thank his mom and dad and older brother for pushing him to get better as a player and a person, and also for encouraging him try out again when he did not have the confidence to do so. Number 16, Jake McCandless. Jake is escorted by his parents, Tim and Mary Ann McCandless. Jake has been playing soccer for 13 years and is a 2-year varsity player. Jake's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline for the second time last season to seal the SEC title. Next year, Jake plans to study business in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to savor every moment on the high school soccer field because the time goes by faster than you think. Jake would like to thank his parents for putting so much time and effort into his soccer career. He would also like to thank his coaches who have had a major impact on his life. Number 18, Colin McGrill. Colin is escorted by his parents, Joe and Sheila McGrill. Colin has been playing soccer for 10 years and is a 1-year varsity player. Colin's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline on his JV sophomore year. Next year, Colin plans to attend college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is nothing beats hard work. Colin would like to thank Coach Ian Stearns, who taught him a lot his sophomore year, and then also let him practice with the team junior year. Colin would also like to give a big thanks to his mom and dad. Number 22, Jake Walper. Jake is escorted by his parents, John and Wendy Walper. Jake has been playing soccer for 10 years and is a 2-year varsity player. Jake's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline on his JV sophomore year. Next year, Jake plans to attend college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is to keep your head up through good times and bad. Jake would like to thank his parents, his coaches, and his teachers. Number 25, Sam Herner. Sam is escorted by his parents, Andy and Holly Herner. Sam has been playing soccer for 12 years. Sam is a 2-year varsity player and a senior team captain. Sam's favorite soccer memory is beating Skyline his sophomore year after losing to them earlier in the season. Next year, Sam plans to study engineering in college. His advice to his underclassmen teammates is keep working hard and never give up on your goals. Sam would like to thank his mom and dad for all their help and for driving him to practices and games. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for this year's Saline soccer seniors. attention to the public address announcer as they guide you through the actions to take. At this time, please note the exit nearest to you. Thank you. Also, as a friendly reminder, please remember that you are on public school property, and there is not only no smoking, but no tobacco of any kind allowed at Saline High School. We thank you for helping us keep Saline tobacco-free. Looking for information on all things Saline athletics? Head to Saline-Hornets.com to see articles, pictures, schedules, and much more. Or follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Saline Athletics. Your ticket to this event comes with great responsibility. To conduct yourself responsibly, to be a good sport. School sports, educational athletics, depends on an atmosphere of respect towards opponents and especially officials. In school sports, we expect good sportsmanship. Good evening. Welcome to Hornet Stadium for today's varsity soccer match between the Monroe Trojans and your Saline Hornets. Now for introduction, starting first, the team from Monroe. Senior number 2, Blake Lambert. Junior number 3, Mitchell Meyer. Senior captain number 4, Trevor Mallett. Sophomore number 5, Xander Middleton. Junior number 6, Colin Charnock. Senior captain number 7, Logan Amato. Junior number 8, Caleb Blackwell. Senior number 9, Nicholas Johnson. Sophomore number 10, Javon Miller. Senior number 11, Nicholas Walters. Senior number 12, Juan Jimenez. Senior number 13, Henry Gurmar. Senior number 14, Logan Tucker. Senior number 15, Brian Costello. Sophomore number 16, Brandon Setzler. Senior number 17, Andre Hauk. Junior number 18, Norberto Flores. Senior number 19, Miguel Diaz. Number 21, Phil Baumgarn. And senior number 23, Matthew Timoney. Monroe is led by head coach Ian Cook, assisted by Ryan Charnock. And now, let's meet your Saline Hornets. Junior number 1, Brady Stavros. Junior number 2, William Zen. Senior captain number 3, Connor Martin. Junior number 4, Jaden Pickett. Senior captain number 5, Jason Head. Senior number 6, Eric Kent. Senior captain number 7, Hayden Lawrence. Senior number 8, James Polazinski. Senior number 9, Ian Winslow. Junior number 10, Dominic Rossi. Junior number 11, Noel Sampa. Junior number 12, Jason Heisler. Senior number 13, Seat Gray. Junior number 14, Anthony Torres. Senior number 16, Jake McCandless. Freshman number 17, Luke Allen. Senior number 18, Colin McGrill. Freshman number 19, Christian Rossi. Junior number 20, Eli Rout. Junior number 21, Jack Gribble. Senior number 22, Jake Walker. Junior number 23, Zach Mitchell. Junior number 24, Ben Sundquist. And senior captain number 25, Sam Herner. Your Hornets are led by head coach Ryan Williams, assisted by Jared Walls. Our officials for tonight's contest: Jonathan Reeser, assistant ref 1, Martin Kennedy, assistant ref 2, and referee Jason Cross. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Hanavan, and I'm once again joined by Sam Jane here to broadcast the varsity matchup of men's soccer for Saline High as they take on the Monroe Trojans. Altogether, it's going to be a fantastic matchup.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing how Saline performs today. They're vying for that second seed in the SEC Red, so got to take advantage of a home game here on Senior Night against Monroe. Excited for this one, Patrick.
Absolutely, and here's a little background on what he just said in the lineup. Saline sitting atop of the SEC Red altogether with a record of 7-1-1 of SEC play, sitting at 22 points altogether, tied with Pioneer. Altogether, Saline is as well number 14 in the state according to rankings based on MHSAA lineups, and altogether the last key component to that last statement lies in the fact that Skyline sits at number 6, and it's going to be interesting to see how the postseason plays off. Monroe altogether is 1-6-2 in SEC plays with 5 points, and in the SEC White altogether, Saline is at the same record as Dexter, who is on top of the SEC White and is declared SEC White champions at 7-1-1. But today, the game is against Monroe, and it looks to be a fantastic matchup as the Hornets celebrate their senior night with all the fun balloons around the stadium here and the parents and everything, all the happy moments for the seniors, and knocked off to Gray right away. Solid forward pass, trying to find Martin down low, just out of reach, and cut short there by Monroe. Gray regains possession with the forward pass, trying to find its way to Kent, and knocked up and out of bounds as Hornets still maintain possession.
Yeah, even though Monroe's record is not as impressive as Saline's, I still think they'll put up a good fight today versus the Hornets, as they've been, trying to get that second win for their squad, and that's always, towards you get toward the later ends of the season, you're just trying to finish it out and put in good challenge to the opposing team, and so I think this one will be a good game.
Absolutely, and a sideline pass there finds its way to head, looking for the forward pass all the way over to Martin, however, cut short and sent right back there by number 10 Miller for Monroe. We're looking at the backfield now, as it's going to be far-sided there to Winslow for the Hornets.
Yeah, that back end is the strength for the Hornets. You got Sampa, Winslow, and then Chris Shrazik. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but he's the back end is very impressive and is the lead in not letting the Hornets give up that many goals. As their defense has been super impressive these past couple games.
Absolutely, and a back pass there collected there with a quick deflection by Head, finding its way to Gray. Chip shot sent far side, just out of reach there as up and out of bounds, and Monroe takes over. That pass there was intended for Kolasinski, just out of his reach, however. Throw in there taken by Monroe on the far side off of the head of Winslow.
Correct.
And shifted back towards midfield.
Correction, Laurent, so I apologize in the mispronunciation, but fact remains that the backfield is a strength for the Hornets, so see how he performs tonight.
Absolutely, and a strong forward pass there. I believe that came from Martin, just out of reach of Gray on the close sideline. Goes up and out of bounds as Monroe to take over with the goal kick. And just for a quick reminder, if you're not familiar with varsity soccer matchups, it is a game of two 40-minute halves altogether. 10-minute halftime in between.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed from the Hornets today, they started out really aggressive. They're attacking the ball extremely fast and hard in terms of crashing on the offensive side with the offensive players, even coming in to play defense and trying to poke that ball away and set up an open lane. Monroe's handled that first wave fairly well, so as they push the ball up ahead.
And collected there by Head as he sends it down low to Martin. Martin losing his footings there and a little bit of speed as it's picked up by Miller from Monroe. Taken away once again as Gray races downfield, knocked out of bounds there by number 8 Blackwell as the Hornets still maintain possession. Right back into it as McCandless knocks it right back to Head. Over to Sampa. Sampa playing in the backfield this time. Kind of a switch up as you normally see him at the midfield location. Sideline pass far side there. Collected. Was Kolasinski. Now down low.
Yeah, it looks like head coach Ryan Williams wants to get a little bit more speed in the back end. Sampa's one of their faster players. And as a senior, also very intelligent, which is what you need on defense. So I like that move because you get more speed to the back end and a little bit more senior leadership, which is always good.
Oh, absolutely. It's important in games like this one today. Sampa now coming away with possession, looking to pass to Laurence. Sitting at center backfield there. Far side to Winslow with the forward pass, trying to work its way all the way forward to McCandless. Yeah, just cut short by number 4, Malik Bai of Monroe. Regained by the Hornets as the centering pass finds McCandless once again, and a strong forward pass trying to find Martin just off target by a little bit, but a shot on goal there taken by number 8, Kolasinski, as Hornets with their first shot on goal of the evening so far.
Yep, pretty easy save there for the keeper, but Saline pushing the ball up ahead, taking that aggressive mentality, which is always good. Because Saline, when they run those 4 defensive backs, you have to have your players up front be aggressive and take some shots on goals, and that's what they've done so far, as you saw that one there.
Absolutely. Pass sent down low to Head, collected and sent right back to Sampa. Hornets trying to find a quick opportunity of where to correct their attack and send it this time. Left wing seems to be the favor right now. Far side over is Kent, centering to Gray. Gray with excellent footwork and control. Puts it right inside and stonewalled there by Poor between the irons.
That was excellent navigation by Gray there. He's able to find an open shot there, but good save by the keeper as he is able to get in front of it.
Tyler Poor is keeper today for the Trojans. And a quick roll in there. Collected once again by Monroe. Open up and booted right down back towards the 50-yard line and collected there favorably for the Trojans by Flores as he lets one rip. It's going to go wide left and kept in bounds there.
Interesting decision there by Herner, but I trust your senior goalkeeper and captain at that. But maybe next time just let that one roll out of bounds in case you do lose it and goes to a corner kick. But
Forward pass there for the Hornets, disrupted by Hauk as Monroe forces Saline to kind of resettle around the 50-yard line, but Gray able to get a chip shot well ahead. And it's going to be called back altogether.
Yeah, you saw Monroe had 7 defenders back on that one. They're not going to let Saline beat them over the top. That's a good strategy because Saline's played so offensive. You kind of have to negate that by having defense back, and so it's been a good strategy by the Trojans there.
Hauk lets one rip far side with a big crossing pass there and up and out of bounds as Monroe still maintains possession. Once again, the throwing opportunity going to Monroe. Looks to be taken by Costello. Deflected right down and contained by, on the far side, that's McGreal. And forcing the Trojans to option back to their keeper as the Saline forwards press it. Chip shot knocked back and collected there far side by Winslow as he tries to send it forward to Gray. Just a slight off target as Miller for Monroe is able to give the Trojans a little pressure downfield, yet knocked up and out of bounds as Saline still maintains possession. Walper to take over for Head here as he comes in as a substitution. Flores with possession sends it far side over to Winslow. Solid forward pass and solid crossing pass puts it just in prime position there for Gray as Boer is able to come away with possession. Just out of reach there for Zeke Gray.
A lot of seniors starting for Saline tonight. That can be a theme on senior night.
I think that's the name of the game tonight. Get them as much playing time as we are pushing towards the last home game of the regular season as well. Chipped up nice and high, collected there by Sampo with ease. Looking for that crossfield pass to be picked up by Winslow on the far side. Very solid forward pass collected by the Hornets. Down goes McCandless as it's shifted back in Monroe favor. Laurent sends down low to Sampa. And over to Walper. To Martin. Martin looking for an option. Heavy pressure there by Amato before ditching it to the outside there with McGreal. Hornet seniors looking for a little action here to set up a proper attack.
Yeah, an all-senior lineup here for the Hornets, so they got the leadership advantage and experience. Haven't really been able to put the ball in that, but they're playing hard and aggressive, and eventually those shots on goal will come.
Absolutely, 2 so far for the Hornets and 0 for Monroe altogether. And bouncing around there between Amato and Johnson before being finally collected. And pardon me, that was Miller, not Johnson. McCandless sent down low to McGreal. Crossing pass there collected by Winslow on the far side as he redirects it down low to Sampa. Solid forward pass finds its way to Zeke Gray as he sidelines it to Martin. Martin down in the corner looking for the crossing opportunity. Takes it, finds it, and collected there right by Poor between the irons. Another shot and goal for the Hornets as that crossing opportunity was a great chance. However, the keeper stood in the way. As he should. Far sideline there as McCandless able to get a quick deflection off of it and kind of turn it back over for the Hornets as it goes right back to the Trojans. Hauk taking over as he shifts it well downfield. Looks to be trying to find Flores on the right wing far side.
McClanders used his body really well there to able to deflect that pass off, but Monroe able to recontrol it. So they've done a good job of just heating the ball and not letting Saline really get a great shot on goal.
Solid forward pass.
This could be one of them right here.
Finds Martin in the right position, able to shift
Great
it right
pass.
in front. And a poor deflection going the wrong way as Monroe is able to clear it up and out.
Ken had a great shot at that, but a great hustle play by, it looked like, number 17 for Monroe, which would be Houck, because he was able to probably just get a foot or an elbow on that to redeflect it away.
Great opportunity there. Just poor timing altogether. And Hornets will have plenty more to come as play continues, and they still maintain possession. Oh, and a good slide tackle going in there by Miller. And Monroe is able to take over. Miller now looking for the forward pass, trying to weave it through far side Winslow to get to Middleton, yet cut short there. Down low, Walper options the Martin. Inside to Gray.
Good little over-the-top pass.
A great lift there by Gray. Centered and picked up by Jimenez. And sent back in Hornet favor as Kent as the race is on, as he's trying to take it right to the sideline. Options to take it towards the backfield, however. Gray down low, and another great lift finds its way inside. It's going to be offsides, however. And Monroe gains possession.
Now it looks like Pickett, the two Rossi brothers, Stavros will all check in along with Zachary Mitzel, so wave of substitution. And number 6 for the Monroe Trojans, which is Colin Sharnock. So see how all those guys will perform. Bring in some fresh players. So get that fit those fatigued players out of there. So it's always a good thing, is you can provide more chances to push the ball up ahead. You can be a little bit more aggressive because players are coming in with fresh legs. And Patrick, what have you seen out of Saline so far tonight that has impressed you?
I've seen Martin running the down low right winger option that has been incredibly valuable to Saline. He's been able to beat the defenders every single time when he's running down the right. He gets around him. He's got a great crossing opportunity. I think I've seen it 3 total times. 2 times made it through, and then it was shut down both times by Poor. So altogether,
yeah, exactly. Saline's had that really nice down the sideline plays. They've lifted it over the top, and sometimes Gray's been able to find Martin with a pass over. So those are, like you said, Martin's taking advantage of his opportunity tonight.
Absolutely, and centering pass there from McCandless, trying to find its way through and doesn't quite, as is knocked right away and collected by Miller. Back pass there by Miller, looking to find Amato, yet cut short and knocked away by Martin down to Gray, or pardon me, Walper, and now back towards midfield. Far side is Winslow sending it forward pass all the way to Kent, and Kent tries to send it to Gray, however, cut short by number 17, Houck. Malik on the far side, options to his right wing, which is Costello, sends it back in. Malik now once again back towards Costello. Solid boot by Costello, puts it right in the hands of Herner, however. Easy deflection there by number 7. That's Amato once again going in favor of the Hornets as they're able to regain. Back downfield, Kent with the quick redirect, just out of reach of Martin. He goes up and out of bounds, and the Trojans take over. And once again, we got that line shift coming out, or the substitutions, pardon me, not hockey. That really sets it up as the normal starters that you would see in the regular game. So while the Hornets have lost their seniority on the field, they've definitely regained their power.
Cedars did a good job, though, of holding fort, keeping it so that Monroe couldn't take advantage and got some shots on goals.
Absolutely. Kent with the throwing opportunity tries to find down low with Rossi. Crossing right in front of the goal, collected on the far side by Stavros. Back inside by Gray. Gray, forward pass, cut short a little bit there. And it's going to be Rossi once again. However, whistle's blown, and it's going to be offside as it goes back to Monroe. Kick to be taken by Houck to open it all up once again. Set far side and header there by Gray. He was briefly able to contain it, and it was collected by Kent, yet sent right back to Monroe. Miller with a quick touch there, trying to redirect it back towards midfield in their favor, yet Gray stands in their way. Rossi with possession back to Gray. Solid forward pass going for the far corner. However, it's going to be just out of reach of Dominic Rossi as collected there by Poor.
Yep, Monroe just keeping Saline at bay from pushing that ball too far up ahead. You'd like to see them get the ball up a little bit more into the Hornets box, but as long as you're not giving up goals and they're keeping everything in front of them, that's a good thing for them and their defense. So that's been impressive tonight.
Absolutely. Chip pass there by Stavros. Places it right inside the goal. Dumps it right into the keeper's hands and shut down. That was Dominic Rossi taking that shot. That was a great opportunity for the Hornets. Back towards the midfield as Sampa stands in the way, trying to keep possession in favor of the Hornets. Picked up by Malik for Monroe, however, and knocked right out of bounds. Hornets take over with the throw-in opportunity taken by Pickett. Slide tackle, as it's going to be a card delivered to number 10 Miller for that contact against Sampa.
In the game for Monroe, number 18, Norberto Flores.
Flores steps in for Miller after that yellow card.
Yeah, Saline continuing to bring their taxmen up and middle midfielders. Sorry again for pardon me with the stutter, but bringing up the midfielders and trying to get the numbers advantage. But Monroe, everybody's fell back and kept everything in front of them like we talked about. So good job by both sides and playing kind of a stalemate right now, Patrick. And in a way, no team has really had a amazing shot on goal, though. Dominic Rossi had a good chance at one, but couldn't convert.
Zampa now back at midfield, looking for the option. Goes on the far side with Pickett. Pickett looking for a chance. Crossfields it down to Walper. Walper taking his time, finds it with Kent. Kent redirects back towards mid and now back to Lawrence. Hornets looking for the option here. Very defense-heavy formation here for Monroe. 4 in the backfield.
Yeah, Coach for Saline there was telling the guys, hey, let's get going. Let's try to find something on the attack. They were just kind of keep playing back. And he was saying, hey, let's get something going. Let's get something brewing. Try to push the ball up ahead. But Monroe, like you said, Patrick, playing such a heavy defensive set that it's hard to really get any great shots on goal.
As it looks like they're in the 4-4-1 formation on the field at the moment.
Yeah, only having one player up in front that can restrict you from scoring goals, but obviously the number advantages tell you that that's going to help prevent any good shots that Saline's going to get.
Absolutely.
So when you get those shots, if you're Saline on the flip side, you have to take advantage because you're not going to get those very often.
You got Walper going for the option at midfield with Sampa. To Gray. Gray tries to redirect over to Kent. A little miscommunication there as he overshoots him, however. Hornets regain possession. Kent able to work it up to Gray. Knocked up and out of bounds, and it's going in Hornet favor. A little confusing signal there by the ref. Throw in places it right outside the box and crossing pass. Is it be offsides? Yeah, it's offsides on that one.
Monroe just seems content to kind of bring this one, keep it low scoring, whereas Saline's trying to play aggressively and get as many goals on as possible, try to win a more high scoring game, although they can play low scoring. Grand Blake game was a 0-0 tie. Skyline was 1-2, so they're comfortable winning both ways.
Absolutely. You're looking at Sampa going far side to Pickett. Forward pass to Stavros, back to Sampa. And a quick touch there by Rossi, able to redirect. Hornets stuck on the left side before they cross it over to Walper. Mitchell sends it far side to Laurence. Forward to Rossi once again. Down low to Gray. Chip pass far side collected by Pickett.
Good little scissor there. It looked kind of not a full one, but nice little scissor kick there by Pickett as he was able to pooch it over the top and then regain control. But it looks to be going back to Monroe as he lost control of it.
Saline, number 2, Ridham Sen. Number 5, Jason Head. And the game from Monroe, number 9, Nicholas.
Sen and Head come in for the Hornets as
Henry
Johnson and Gurmarath come in for the Trojans at number 9 and number 13. Sen and Head at number 2 and number 5. Throwing opportunity taken here by Monroe on the far corner. Knocked right back out of bounds as Pickett is able to recollect. Stavros sending it midfield, yet cut out of the way, and now it's racing back towards Hornet goal as Laurence is to claim and sent right over the head. Down low to Sen. Back to Head. To Laurence. And just out of reach as Mitchell races to recollect. 18 minutes to play here in the first half. Score still stands at 0s. Sampa. Forward pass finds its way through Stavros and collected by Pickett before sending it back to Stavros. Kind of a cool play there. And a solid crossing pass just out ahead of Sen there as it's collected there by Poor. Poor throw out pass there. Picked up by Gray, and Gray chip shot placed right in front of the goal as out comes Poor once again to shut him down.
Good communication by Stavros and Pickett, it looked like there, as Stavros knew that Pickett had momentum coming down the left sideline, so he just let it go through his legs, and Pickett was able to control it. Didn't lead to anything for Saline, but cool play like that, and that knows that teammates have good communication. And that's always exciting to see a little flash.
Oh, absolutely. Chipped up and out of bounds there as it was redirected in Saline's favor. Throw in to be taken by Flores on the far side. Knocked out of bounds and going back towards Saline. Laurence goes for the far crossing pass, finding its way to Head. Head looking for options. Has Sen on his right, options for his left, however, with Sampa. Sampa pressured there by number 21 for Monroe.
That was great. That was a nice pass by Sampa. Kind of threaded it between two defenders, but along that left side, Stavros looked like he tried to readjust, but readjusted too much as he came back for the ball, and then Sampa's pass kind of spun into the far left corner, and he wasn't expecting that, but good little pass there. So they'll get a throw in here.
Flores with last to touch as it looks like Hornets once again take over. Solid finds its way to Gray as Gray uses his body to ensure that he regains possession. Placed right in front, and solid shot. Just too much heat as it goes high and out of bounds there.
Stavros crushed that one. That went looked like between the goal post and the soccer post.
Yeah, the crossbar there.
Yeah, the crossbar. Yeah,
it's like a foot of clearance altogether, and he put a lot of heat behind it.
Yeah, that one was not getting saved. Let me tell you, that was either gonna go high or was gonna go screaming through the net.
Now in the backfield for Monroe, as it's gonna be Hauk sending it far side to Malik. Pressure by Stavros as Malik sends it once again to his right wing defender. Charnak with the forward pass trying to find its way in Monroe favor, putting it right in the Saline box as Monroe edges closer and closer once again, putting Saline on the defensive.
Yeah, Monroe getting some good field position here. Field position is such a crucial thing in soccer. But Ridham's down the. Ooh, they had Ridham down the right sideline there.
Pressure up, forward pass. Ridham turns on the Jets. He's got to beat him on the close side. However, it's not going to fall in his favor. Up and out of bounds. Hornets regain possession with the throw-in opportunity, and Head is going to take it. Finds his way with Gray. Solid crossing pass. I think trying to find Stavros on the far side. Just not enough juice on that one, and a few too many defenders standing in the way. Sen is in the right position, however, as out comes Poor and shuts them all down.
Yeah, Poor was going to sacrifice his body for that as Rossi came flying in, but good job of him. When you're a goalie like that, you just want to cover the ball. Don't let it get out of your stomach. It's a good play by him to just dive on it and not let there be any chance for a deflection or a way for Rossi to get to that ball. Didn't try to boot it out or anything like that. Smart play, veteran play.
I think that call was on Pickett for just a little too much contact there as Monroe to take over here once again, I believe, with a free kick. Yep. 13:40 on the clock. Scores still stand at 0, and it's going to be an exciting game so far as ranks don't matter and your season standings don't matter. What matters is that you come out here and play a good game of soccer. And right now, Monroe is putting on a very solid defensive stand. Solid boot there, puts it right in front of the Hornet box, and it's knocked right away with ease.
Yeah, like we talked about, Patrick, both teams are going to put up a fight. Monroe is not going to go down easily just because their record isn't as good as Saline's. Upsets happen all the time, and in high school soccer, you see plenty of teams that their record isn't as good as others, and they still find a way to pull it out. So Saline's got to be careful here.
Absolutely, and that deflection off of Sen nearly could have been positive. However, it's going back to Monroe now. Headed away there by Head as he tries to knock it in his favor. However, picked up by Lawrence in the backfield as he sends it right back to Herner. And Herner right back to Lawrence. Gray. Two defenders close by. He sends it forward to Rossi. Rossi to Rossi. And a solid collection there by Monroe as they're able to swipe it right away and put the pressure on the Hornets. Sampo racing downfield, goes to the sideline to Stavros on the far side now. Big crossing pass, however, a little too on target as it's collected by Poor once again. Solidly kicked away there, but finds its way to Gray, and Gray to Stavros. Stavros out front to Rossi, just out of his reach once again. Monroe's ball.
Oh, nice slide tackle by Stavros there. It's exactly how you want to do it. Go for the ball. Oh.
And Gray was racing in there to connect with that one. That would have been...
Yeah, that would have been probably a good percentage shot for a goal there, but just a little too far out.
Head once again going for the crossing, and once again finds another defender on the far side. That was number 8, Blackwell, as it was shut down.
Yeah, Saline's had a couple of those passes where it doesn't look like it's had really any chance of getting to that far left. They're going right to left there a couple times. I would maybe just try to keep control of the ball, but I understand what they're doing is they're trying to put pressure on the defense to make them make a play, but you know, you want to try to keep possession.
Rossi crossing pass right out in front, however, looking for the midfield sweeper there as no one is in the way, and deflected wide left, out of bounds, as the last person to touch was Saline. Monroe takes over.
In the game for Saline, number 17, Luke Allen, number 20, Eli Rowell.
Solid kickoff going back towards midfield. Sampa able to get the head off, trying to send it over to Stavros. Yet knocked away once again. Solid boot collected there once again by Rout. Down low, back to Gray. Gray contested there by number 13, Gurmarov. 13v13 as Gray still comes with possession. Sideline pass down low to Rout. Rout looking for an option, however, unable to control it, get it past Blackwell as Monroe regains possession. Pickett on the far side. Down low to Sampa. Chip shot finds its way to Allen. Allen with the forward pass, trying to connect with Christian Rossi there. However, cut short and sent right back as Gray does the same to Dominic Rossi. And Gray lets it rip and finds the upper 90. Just out of the reach there of Bohr.
Excellent shot there by Gray. It looked like, I don't know if you viewers fought, but just hit the side outside of the net, but a strong shot by Gray.
That was real close too. And I think as well we had a signal in the back by this ref that it may have been offsides too if it had gone in.
Oh, okay. So all for naught, but still an impressive shot by Gray.
Gray let it rip. Gray also mentioned that in his like senior memo he did that was announced for him prior to the game that his favorite memory is ripping a 35-yard shot against Monroe, and you bet he's going to reclaim that glory. Oh, and heavy pressure there out in front denies Rossi any action on that ball. Sampa now with possession. Forward pass and a quick touch by Gray, and taken away there by Diaz and raced back downfield. It's a 4-on-2 situation as Mitchell comes away with it for the Hornets, and Stavros now. And to be picked up down low by Allen. Allen sideline pass just out of reach of Rossi, and route up and out of bounds. Monroe takes over. 7:50 on the clock. 7:47 actual time. Pretty close.
Yeah.
And altogether, score stands at 0. Hout knocks it off there, sends it right back towards midfield, and Rossi is able to get a quick touch and send it over to Stavros. Rossi back racing in towards the center of the box, however, cut short, and it's going to be Malik racing back towards midfield, or pardon me, Blackwell back towards midfield. Christian Rossi able to work his way inside with a quick steal and send it back outside to Stavros. Stavros, a little fancy footwork and down to Route. Route looking for the option, makes his way around Blackwell. However, it's sent right back. Slide tackle there connects as Blackwell finds.
We're going to call that a penalty on Route, it looks like.
I think it is too. He got there on the contact going in for the slide.
He got there a little too late. Ball had already left and he was coming in. Harmless penalty though. It didn't look like anybody.
No cards and nobody's hurt, so it's a good point to keep moving on. Monroe to take over, however, it's going to be Hout sending it well back downfield. Zampa able to head it in the right direction, however. Knocked right on the sideline and up and out of bounds as Saline will take over in their own territory. 6:25 on the clock in the first half. Gray with the quick touch sending it back towards midfield. Rossi with a little collision there with number 12 Jimenez and shutting it down any forward progress he hoped to gain. Mitchell pass to the outside to Pickett. Pickett over to sideline to Stavros. Big centering pass there cut short from Stavros by number 5 Middleton. Stavros races around from the left wing all the way down to the right and is able to reclaim possession there for the Hornets, and
That's
heavy contact. Looks to be called on Stavros instead of Jimenez.
That looked like both of them got into a little bit. I would say more so on number 12, but it's all right. You know, refs can see it much more better than we can up from the top booth here. It was that guy was right there, so you know we'll definitely go with his call.
Absolutely. Hout opens it up, sends it well downfield towards the goal, and it's going to go up and out of bounds as Hornets take over with the goal kick now.
In the game for Saline, number 3, Connor Martin. Number 6, Eric Kent. In the game for Monroe, number 21, Phil Baumgarten.
Solid boot by Herner, sending it well back towards midfield. Sampa with the quick deflect, picked up, however, there by Charnak, and Hornets are putting on the pressure, or put on pressure there. That didn't work out.
Yeah, Monroe did a good job of attacking up ahead there, but Saline got back. Good defense.
Knocked out of bounds on a deflection. Hornets still with the throwing opportunity there. Or not. It seemed like it was deflection. Malik back in the game once again for Monroe. Throwing finds its way short side and collected in a solid crossing pass, puts it short side of the goal, and it's going to go wide left with that opening shot.
Yeah, that was deflected. That's going to be a corner kick.
Yes, it is. First corner kick of the evening for Monroe.
Checking in the game for Monroe, number 14, Logan Tucker.
First real dangerous situation here for the Hornets, really being put on the defensive overall. Corner going high and far out the other side of the box, contained with the crossing shot coming from far side, as it's going to be deflected away and sent back towards midfield in Hornet favor. Pickett on the far corner, and heavy pressure there, looking like he's being dragged down, and no call will be given, however.
They're gonna. Looks like they're gonna give him that call. Player for Monroe seems to be down.
Taking his time, and he's up and walking. That was Malik there, 2:40 on the clock. Scores at zeros. Hornets now under pressure as nobody wants to go into the half scoreless at this situation.
It's just really like a stalemate now. No, nobody really is putting on any sort of attempts for goals, and nobody seems, like you said, nobody seems to want to score. Just keep it a 0-0 tie.
0-0 and play at midfield. It's a real fun game.
Yeah, right. Although there have been definitely interesting elements. You saw Gray's shot a couple times. Saline's been able to push it up ahead. That's a nice pass.
Very solid, but deflected halfway through. Was going to find Kent down low and picked up by Poor.
That was right on target for Kent, so that was a great play by the Monroe defender just to get, looked like maybe a head on it, to knock it back to his keeper.
Mitchell forward pass finds its way to Sampa. Sampa tries to send it right down to Zeke. Zeke a little behind on that pass as it's picked up and kind of deflected away from where they intended it to be. Sampa trying to race his way through a quick spin and through one defender there.
He got grabbed. That's going to be a free kick.
Yes, it is. They caught that on the opportunity. I believe that was number 14, Tucker. And racing in is going to be Gray. Going for the crossing opportunity, puts it right in front and deflected the wrong direction, and down goes, I believe, Rossi.
Yeah, he got hit in the head there. That's never good to see. It looked like he collided with a Monroe defender.
As he gets up and walks it off, that's always a good sign when it comes to any type of head-on-head contact.
Yeah, you see the two brothers there walking off together. Dominic and Christian. Gives him probably a word of encouragement.
And Christian pushes him off of there. Get back in the game. Stop bothering.
Yeah, it's that younger brother. Quit worrying about me. Probably telling him, hey, go score a goal for me if you're...
A little redemption's needed. He got 1:05 on the clock here. And Monroe will have possession.
One minute left to play.
And back to Saline as it rolls right out of bounds on that curve. Throwing to Mitchell.
I think both teams are probably just content to go into this half with a tie. Don't want to make a crucial mistake here at the end.
Absolutely. Laurence forward to Rossi. Rossi dances the sideline with possession, sends it back inside to Sampa.
Monroe's played really, they haven't played very attacking, but they've played very mistake-free soccer. They haven't made any big mistakes or crucial mistakes that leaves their goalie in a one-on-one spot. And they've kept, like we've talked about throughout the broadcast, kept everything within their eyesight, nothing's gotten behind them, which happened to the JV team a couple times, and that led to those goals. So,
Absolutely.
Varsity team doing a good job of staying disciplined.
I think there was one opportunity in the very beginning of the game where possession wound up behind the Monroe keeper, but not in the Hornets' favor. And that'll be it, folks. That's the first half. Current score stands at 0s apiece. Altogether, a very exciting game, but we'll be back after this quick 10-minute halftime. And we're back for this second half of the Saline versus Monroe matchup. Altogether, it's a fantastic competition, very tough competition as well. Solid defense on Monroe's side, and that cannot be emphasized enough. Saline has had very little luck when it comes to working their way around the Monroe defense and their keeper. They've had maybe one opportunity, and that resulted in a poor deflection that went up and out of bounds. But now Hornets have switched sides, and let's see how it will react here for the second half. A little contact there as off comes Middleton in his place, limping his way off. Looks like to be holding his hamstring, which is always a really unfortunate situation. Johnson comes in at number 9 in his place. Now Hornets looking to shift the tide a little bit here. Monroe will regain possession, and they opt to just descend it well downfield. Herner sends it far side. Collected there by Walper. Back towards center field to Lawrence, to Pickett. Pickett looking, sends it right back center to Lawrence. Over to Mitzel. To Rossi. And it's going to go up and out of bounds back in Monroe's favor. Throwing opportunity going sideline for Monroe, and knocked away there by Mitzel. Up and out of bounds. Hornets regain possession here. Throw in pass collected and finds its way to Gray. Gray chips it up close side, where out comes Poor to shut down Stavros on any attempt that he may have had on that ball. Solid boot by Poor, going back towards midfield altogether. And now Walper, far side, and unable to be kept in bound despite Sampa attempting it. Going back into play here as Sampa is in contention there. Down goes the Monroe midfielder on the far side, but center pass there as away comes Rossi with possession. Christian Rossi still out of the game so far with a little contact on the head. You always got to make sure that it is not anything close to a concussion before any more play.
Exactly, go through that protocol. Those certain steps that trainers have that they want to check out to make sure that you don't have a concussion, as I'm sure Rossi is urging to get back in the game, but you don't want to put a player in who has any sort of head injury. It would weigh on you for a long time if they were to get re-injured. So good job by the athletic trainers in making sure he's okay.
Absolutely. Now it's going to be a kick here by Zeke Gray to open up. Solid boot sent far side, put just shy of the goal, and a solid shot taken there.
Good save.
Good save, though. Shut down. It was Mitzel taking the shot, point blank range. Sampa now down in the corner, over to Pickett, down low. Chips it up right in front of the goalie. Solid header, trying to push it in favor, and finds the back of the net.
And that's Stavros there. What a shot by Braden Stavros. That was a nice little, you saw the back header there. Pickett crossed it in. Just a great setup play. I don't know who it was, but he was able to lean his body back, tip it backwards, and Stavros got off a deflection, was able to put it into the back of the net. Great play by the Hornets off that free kick.
Well, he's not a senior, and it is senior night, but the Hornets are now up 1-0 over the Monroe Trojans.
I'm sure the seniors care way more about the goal
than them getting the goal.
Yeah, right. Big goal for Saline in the way their defense is played. Now Monroe kind of has to come out of that back type of style they've been in and be more aggressive, and Saline can kind of fall back a little bit more.
Absolutely, and there we go. Monroe chipping off right away, putting the heat on the ball as they're trying to shift it right back in Hornet territory. Far sideline, out of bounds, or pardon me, throw in from out of bounds. There we go. Finds its way in Monroe favor, racing downfield. And Lawrence now, center pass to Gray. Down low to Stavros. Stavros with a quick touch and a little bit of pressure there from behind. However, he ditches it over to Pickett. Gray once again.
Stavros down the left side.
He's racing for it. Not enough speed as it's just going to go up and out of bounds, however.
Laurent's put a little too much power on that one. But that's all right. You'd rather be long than short.
Drink some water. Working his way back inside is Kent, looking for the crossing opportunity, finds it in Rossi and finds the back of the net there. Christian Rossi goes out early with a little bit of contact and now comes back in the game screaming there. 2-0 on the clock there. It is 34-49. 2 quick goals by the Hornets.
Yeah, and I guess the doctors checked out Rossi and said, oh, you don't have a concussion. You're good to go. And he paid off with a big goal for Saline. 2-0 feels so much better. You can take a deep breath, relax. Even if you give up 1 goal, you're still in the lead. You're fine. So that's a huge goal for Saline. Is that extra goal and that little bit of safety for them is so big. And 2 underclassmen scoring, so.
Absolutely. It's really putting a boot to the senior night thing.
Yeah, right.
Knocked back down the far sideline, and it was collected there with a quick touch by Mitzel. But now you're looking at Laurent down to Pickett. Or pardon, there's Walper on the far side who had the quick touch. Over to Stavros. Centering pass looks to find its way to Dominic Rossi, looking probably to one-up his brother now. Sampa now back towards that midfielder position that we're used to seeing him in. Centered to Kent. And cut short there and sent right back by number 6, Jarnek for Monroe. Walper from the sideline to Rossi as it's back again. Walper with a solid header to Sampa. And Sampa with a big centering pass. Finds Stavros, and Stavros goes up big time. And goes
that did
down
not look
there.
good.
No.
Stavros went over the top of one player. I think he's okay, though. That was a scary fall.
That was a very scary fall. That could be a big head contact type
Yeah,
of
the
fall.
ref just singled, hey, head. He's got to come out. You always hate to see that. It's not 2 hand injuries that the Hornets have sustained, but if it's anything like Christian Rossi's, Braden will make it 3-0.
You never know at this situation.
He looks all right, though. He's walking off in his own power. That's always good to see.
That is always good to see, especially, yeah. Stavros is a very, very tough athlete, both here on the field and on the track where he is at in the spring. And so he'll definitely be back in the game if he's cleared. Poor opens up and sends it right back towards midfield. And the Hornets look to set up another attack here. Sampa. Sideline pass to the outside to Christian Rossi. Rossi racing, but he's going to be beat on that one. It's going to go up and out of bounds, and it's going to be in his favor, however, as he's going to the corner this time.
Corner kick, Saline.
That'll be the first corner kick of the second half, so see what Saline can make of this.
It'll be an interesting situation to see what's going to happen so far.
Gotta see what Monroe's gonna do to respond.
Chipped up, placed short side of the box, and is headed away. And raced back downfield as Baumgarten, the German exchange student for Monroe, is able to get a quick touch and send it back towards midfield. Martin over to Mitzel. Mitzel back to Martin.
Saline loves those give-and-go plays down the right and left sideline. Those are always big for them as it looks to get more momentum going and catch the defense off guard.
It helps them weave their way through their opponents at this situation. And Sampa now, quick touch deflection and sent out of bounds there by Monroe as Saline gains the throw-in opportunity.
Yeah, Sampa we kind of learned in the first he moved towards defense. That's very unselfish because it allowed, I think, senior players who played more of that midfield role to get in and start. So a very unselfish player Sampa is. You always love to see that great teammate to give up his starting main position and move to a different one.
Absolutely out of bounds is Walper going for the throw-in now. There we go. Finds its way to a quick header there by Gray and picked up on the far side by Kent. Gray racing to regain possession. It's going to be actually picked up by, in a quick touch by Mitzel, but still maintained by Malik for Monroe before he ditches it outward. Back once again, you're looking at Jimenez racing down field and shifting it right back before it's redirected by Walper. Sampa far side, heavy contention there by Amato. Before a forward pass intended to find Kent is deflected right away. Now here comes Mitzel down low, back to Pickett. Looking to maintain, taking his time. There's no rush at this moment for the Hornets. Far side to Walper. And a very solid pass out in front and ahead, taken by Martin, and Pickett's there to answer with possession. Back to Martin. Crossfield pass finds its way to Walper. Another big kick from Walper. They set up the same play twice again, and once again it is knocked right away. Hornets still come away with possession as they're looking to reset. It's going to be Zeke Gray. And a quick deflection there by Malik sends it right towards Monroe defenders. Forward pass finds its way to Dominic Rossi before being sent and picked up by Zeke Gray. Down low to Kent. Kent looking for options, a little fake there, and sends it forward. Picked up by Martin. Chip shot set far side to be claimed by Sampa. To Gray. Quarter of the way through this second half right now with 29:47 on the clock. Shot let rip there by Gray and stuffed almost immediately and sent it right back. Hornets still maintain.
Yeah, Gray, let me tell you, has some serious power on those shots. Not be surprised if one rips through the net.
Oh, absolutely. I would not want to be in front of that one.
See
Gray once again racing and lets it rip. And just wide. Just wide there.
Second time today he's been a little bit wide.
We've yet to see in one of our broadcasts a real ripper from Gray. They all seem to be just a little too wide. And that's the thing. You can have a lot of heat, but you lose a little bit of accuracy with that heat.
Yeah. Sure, he'll put it together, though. You know, great player that he is. Get ready for the playoffs. And
Oh, absolutely.
that's when it matters most.
Chip shots out well back downfield. Hornets reclaim right around midfield mark.
And the Hornets have, you know, you see the playing more. They got their four defenders, but they haven't urged off any sort of attacking. They've still kept it up and tried to get that third and elusive goal that would pretty much put this thing in shutdown mode. So they're still attacking, but got to be careful you don't give Monroe any way too far open lanes. Good little corner pass there. Looks like by McClandis, but just out of reach of Gray.
We taken over by Monroe now.
The game for Monroe, number 14, Logan Tucker.
In comes Tucker for the Trojans. Hauk with this strong boot, but off the head there, off far side. It looks to be redirected back towards midfield and sent right back the other direction in Monroe favor.
Yeah, Monroe you got to find a way to get a goal here, push the ball up ahead. If that means bringing out an extra defender and putting in a front man or an attacker, then that's what it needs to happen. But you can't keep sitting back in this defensive position, or else Saline's just gonna be able to milk this clock out.
Absolutely. Diaz steps in there for Monroe. Chip shot sent far side by McGreal. Solid effort and rush there by Kolasinski on the far side, able to maintain Hornet possession. Throw-in finds its way to head. And Gray once again looking to work his way around the Monroe defenders. Deflected up and out of bounds once again.
Yeah, Gray done a good job tonight of just trying to find open teammates more so than shooting, which is not, he's a great passer, but his main thing that everybody, is I guess his calling card is his powerful strike. But good job of finding open teammates tonight.
Oh yeah, and corner there was kicked off by Gray and immediately ditched out to Torres. Chip shot placed nice and high, but headed away and collected by Kent. Still out in front of the Monroe goal. Whistle's blown, and it's going in favor of Monroe. I think it is called on Kent with a little bit of contact there. Solidly sent downfield and off the head there of McGreal. To McCandless. Far side to head. Sideline to Kolasinski. Back to head. Chip shot forward, finds its way to McGreal. Winslow ditches it back to McGreal before it's all the way back to Lawrence. And now to Gray. Worked around Gray as he puts up heavy defense. Possession still maintained by the Hornets. Torres inside, a good workaround pass there. Just out of reach of Torres, however. Out of bounds as Monroe takes over.
Nice little swing pass over there by Gray. You can even just see the strike he has on those kicks. Oh, 7 looks like he got a push there. Got away with it.
A little bit of conflict on the field. A little bit of anger boiling up. But 24 minutes still to play. Hornets up 2-0.
Oh, that was a call. Torres was not happy with that. Thought it was worse than it was, but they'll still get a throw in, so that's always good.
Regain possession, and Winslow options forward there, but knocked right away. As it's going to be close side, it's going to be Lawrence sending it deep.
Great pass by Lawrence.
Pinpoint to Gray, lets
There
it
it
rip, and
is.
there it is. He finds it 3-0. Zeke Gray puts him on the board once again, coming in at 23-24. Great chance there. Just a laser of a shot, sent bottom left.
Yeah, we talked about how if he found the accuracy, it was going to get in. Keeper had no shot, and he's not really a middle of the goal type shooter. He's always aiming for those corners, so when it finds that aim, it's going in, and that was a great shot by him. Bottom left corner delivered big for Saline, gives them that elusive third goal. Now Monroe's really going to have to, like we talked about, try to find a way to put it on the attack, and now you put the pressure on the Saline defenseman to just kind of bleed this clock out.
Absolutely. Far side is head. Inside to McCandless. Very solid forward pass, trying to find Torres. Cut short there by Costello, however. Kent chips it up, and it's blocked there by Poro. It was on target, just not quite enough, and the keeper stood in the way. Send it right back towards midfield. Gray is there to collect. Send it right down to Torres. Right behind, however, as it goes up and out of bounds, and Monroe takes over.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Monroe's their defense tonight, even though they've given up 3 goals. You know, one was on just a great shot by Gray. There's nothing really you can do about that. And they, for the whole first half, they kept the Saline Hornets at bay. But credit the coaches and the players for making adjustments, saying, okay, guys, we have to. They really were trying to attack those sidelines, but they got the ball to the middle more. In the second half, you saw Gray be in the middle. You saw Stavros' goal was near the middle. So they really tried to attack that center of the defense, and that led to 2 goals. And you know, great adjustments by the coaches and players.
Absolutely. Laurent's forward pass finds Martin. Center to Kent. Kent tries to chip it up back to Martin, but it's just unsuccessful and gets knocked away there. Down the sideline, that is Torres trying to contest with that ball. However, Hornets still maintain. Throw in to be taken by Winslow there. Finds its way to McCandless. McCandless racing between 4 different Monroe defenders. Far side is Zeke Gray now. Pass forward, trying to work its way inside to Kent, however unsuccessful. McCandless, or pass to the outside, trying to find its way to Gray, but cut away right almost immediately, and Gray sweeps in with the steal there, taken away from Diaz, and knocking it right back to Laurent's.
Saline just kind of trying to bleed the clock, it seems, just trying to keep possession.
Forward pass just out of reach of Martin there as it goes up and out of bounds. In comes Sampa, Walper.
Looks like Send as well.
Send, Pribble, Heisler, and Allen.
Jack Pribble, number 22, Jake Walper, number 23, Zach Bitzel. In the game for Monroe, number 23, Matthew Timoney.
And Timoney comes in for Monroe. Now it's 20 minutes on the clock. 3-0 currently. Hornets lead the way. It's kind of an interesting situation. We are halfway through the second half, and Hornets are completely dominating the possession at the moment as they are able to keep it in Monroe territory almost the entire time.
Yeah, exactly, Patrick. The Saline offense, you knew they were going to probably score a goal with how often they had it in the first half. It was just about making those necessary adjustments at halftime, and that's exactly what they did.
Pass to down low to Sampa is collected, sent right back up to Pribble. Far side is now looking for options and sends it down low to Sampa. Chip shot sent right forward, and it finds its way through the keeper, but in right behind it, in a diving opportunity there.
Yeah, Winslow overran it. If he had just played behind the keeper, that would have probably been a goal, but you know, you can never expect the ball to get past the keeper like that. That's like a once in 50 times that will happen. But I think Saline's probably content with, you know, just keep holding on to the ball and allowing the clock to milk its way down.
Sampa, crossfield, finds its way to Allen. Allen looking for options. Finds it with Sampa. Down low to Heisler. Nice quick cut, able to work it inside to Sen. Sen taken away there by Monroe as they send it right back downfield. Looks to be Diaz trying to contain, but Mitchell gets in the way. Up and out of bounds. Monroe still with possession and the throw-in opportunity. In comes Amato. Throw-in finds its way to Heisler, but he takes it right out of bounds as Monroe still with another throw-in to be taken by Tucker. Very strong throw-in, sends it right towards midfield. Knocked away there by Pribble and taken away by the Hornets altogether. Sampa now looking for options, sends it down low to Heisler. Back to Sampa. Far side to Pribble, looks for the sideline pass, tries to lead him on the far side with Kolosinski, but just headed out of the way there by Monroe. Up and out of bounds, I think deflected off of Charnak there, as Hornets still with the throwing opportunity and possession. Sampa sent down low to Heisler. Back to Mitzel. Forward and quick deflection there, finds its way to McCandless as it's taken away but still maintained by the Hornets. Kolosinski now. Crossing pass to Sampa. Racing his way inside. Little pressure from behind, but sends it right down low, and shot let go by Torres there. Deflected point blank up and out of bounds. Hornets still with possession. Redirection there by Torres goes up and out of bounds once again, and Monroe takes over.
Yeah, now's the time where you can get, the backups in and give them a chance to show what they can do, and you've seen that they've done a pretty good job so far of, playing aggressive, but also not too aggressive as to where you give up goals, and they've done a good job finding that balance.
Working around the backside with a nice crossing pass just out of reach, however. Picked up, and Hornets looking to make it back in towards Monroe goal. Forward pass finds its way to McCandless and kicked away there by number 12, Jimenez.
So, Patrick, as we head into, more postseason soccer, as the season dwindles down in the regular season, what's one advantage you think that Saline has going into that they might have over other teams?
They have a very strong team connection, and I think they have a lot of speed as well. And I think that's an important combo to have, especially if they're going to go up against higher-ranked teams in the postseason, especially with district play starting this week. I think it's going to be important, especially, to utilize both their speed on the wings and their team play that they have and this great chemistry. Now, as we're looking towards the field, a little discussion going on between McCandless, Timoney, and the ref back at midfield about something.
Yeah, exactly what you said. I think their experience, many of these guys have been in the playoffs before. They went to the title last year, and those guys, I'm sure, felt the pain of losing to Skyline. They're going to want a rematch, a chance to avenge that loss. And, coaches always say a loss can sometimes teach you a lot more than a win can. And I'm sure that they learned, and those younger players will gain experience. And the seniors now, like you said, very, very good team chemistry. All players have been playing together for a long time, and I definitely agree. I think also a combo of having such great defensemen, along with those speed on the wings, can be so crucial, because by allowing your wing players to get downfield, because your defensemen can, they can handle it in the back end, that allows for more attacking opportunities, and that definitely will be an advantage for the Hornets coming into district play.
Very true. Very, very true. Redirected there by Heisler unintentionally out of bounds as Monroe takes over with possession now.
Yeah, so got to see what Saline and Monroe does here in the last 13 minutes. And, for a team like Monroe that season hasn't gone exactly the way they wanted to, they fought extremely hard tonight. They played really well in the first half. Second half got away from them a little bit, but to be able to fight through that resiliency and still, put up, not allow any goals in the first half to a great Saline team, that's really impressive for them. And I think next season they have a lot of good young players, and I think they could have a bounce back year.
Absolutely. It's always a bright future for Saline men's soccer right now, especially.
Yeah, Saline's just, I just think Saline just has a little bit more talent than Monroe, and it's hard to keep up with a team that has such good speed and, like we talked about, good experience.
And with that said, Sampa now with possession as he tries to redirect it there off of Lambert, and Lambert comes with possession for Monroe. Picked up and centered, but reclaimed by Saline by McCandless. Far side is Pribble now. And a very solid crossing shot. Looks to find Sen, and contact between the keeper and defender. Both go down, and they seem to be perfectly fine. And Monroe gains possession. 12 minutes on the clock. Current score stands at 3-0. And if you're worried that this game's going to end and you're not going to have anything to watch anymore, because that's going to be it, we'll be back on the air tomorrow. We'll be back on at 5:30 for a volleyball matchup here at Saline. You're welcome to tune in for the JV match at 5:30, and then we'll be back on at 7 for the varsity matchup. I believe it is the orange out for Chad Tuff for the volleyball squad, and so it's always a fun occasion.
Well, this looks like it's going to be a penalty kick. These are always exciting to watch.
This would be a fantastic opportunity here.
Penalty kick, Saline.
So now, as a player, you kind of have, the tendencies of the goalie. You have maybe what you saw throughout the game.
And we have a card. We have a card coming out, too, and it's going to number 15 there, Costello, I believe. Or maybe...
But like I was saying, on these penalty kicks, you kind of see what the goalie's been looking at throughout the game, but it's also a little predetermined. You know which side's your strongest, and you go to what you think your best kick is, and your most powerful side. So if I had to call this, I'm gonna say McCandless is gonna go bottom left corner. Patrick, you want to take a shot at it?
Top left. Calling top left from McCandless.
A little bit of hold up here. And as a goalie, you take your guess. You can't. It's too fast to react to when the ball's being shot off. You guess which one. At the higher levels, you see film of guys, maybe tendencies of the striker. So we'll see which way the goalie for Monroe here, Poor, will choose. Oh, he went top left.
He went top left, just a little too much.
It was too high.
It was up there. I'll take it. I'll take that call. It's a little too much.
Yeah. Candace probably got a little excited there. He's like, this is a good chance on senior night to get a penalty shot goal. Just put a little too much into it.
Just a little too much, but that's all right. You're looking at 11:36 on the clock. Saline still well leading the way. Solid boot going back towards midfield. Sampa racing back as it's all trying to go back in Saline favor. Knocked out of bounds. Or nearly out of bounds, yep. And Heiser with throw opportunity finds a way to Sampa down low. And Sampa now still with possession, racing down the sideline. Around one, around two defenders now, looking for the crossing opportunity. And nutmegs the other player there, and the entire bench erupts with cheer. And I think coach just told him to cool it, because there's a point where you stop cheering when you're up 3-0. Always good to have great team camaraderie, however. On the inside, knocked out of there by Monroe, and Saline is forced to reset their attack before they go into the competition. Sidelining pass finds its way to Sampa, however. Knocked out of bounds by Malik for Monroe, and Hornets regain possession. Solid throw in and directed about a few times and ultimately kicked out, and Saline has to retreat once again. And still racing around the outside. You're looking at McCandless down low to Sampa. 10 minutes on the clock. Down Sampa forward pass, trying to find its way through to Torres, and it does. Torres crossing pass just behind. Walper as it's unsuccessful in finding its way inside the 6-meter box there. Sen racing once again and over to Torres. Torres tries to knock it away there to McCandless, but it's knocked away by, I believe that's number 18, Flores of Monroe. Sampo once again. Big crossing pass. Looks to be just too much as it goes up and out of bounds, and into the game we have Winslow, Martin, Head, looks to be Kent, Gray, and then 2 others in just 1 moment after this kick begins. Lawrence and as well as McGreal come into the game too.
Yeah, all the seniors are going to check in here for the end of this game. Last 10 minutes.
It'll be awesome to see them play these last 10 minutes in their last regular season home game here at Saline High. And it's always a fun and exciting moment if they can put one in the back of the net too.
Yeah, right.
Because so far, Zeke Gray has that honor, and no one else. Dancing around midfield there with Lambert, and looks to be Walper in heavy contention. Picked up Winslow down to Walper once again. Crossing to McGreal. Zeke Gray once again. Racing around the outside. Unable to work through all 3 defenders. Gets caught in the second, and it's knocked away by Monroe. Once again, reclaimed there by Gray on the outside. Big crossing shot right out in front. Still contained. Knocked right back to Walper. Centering fact to McCandless and goes up and out of bounds. Give me another corner kick opportunity here for Saline as Kent heads to the corner.
And as we, headed to these last 8 minutes, you're looking at hopefully getting a senior goal, so this could be a good chance for it.
Ken puts it up high and headed just out of the way. Made contact with the Hornet, however, just went the wrong direction on that head. Malik just started all off once again for the Trojans. With a solid boot downfield, and it looks like it's going to be flagged.
Yeah, got a little push in the back there.
Little bit of push there. It was Walters who received the push, I should say. Allen sent downfield and deflected out of the way there, or pardon me, not
Speed
Allen.
by Head.
That was Hauk there and Amato with the quick action.
Oh.
Forward pass out.
They had a good chance there. Torres was flying down the middle. And Martin down the right side. That could have been a goal, but good speed by Monroe to get back.
Pace still set as the Hornets look for the big centering pass here. But it's knocked away and sent right back downfield with McGreal there to receive. Options to the outside with head forward pass to Gray. Gray racing around for the centering now. Finds his way into the box. To Kent. Chip shot by Kent. Finds Poor directly square in the chest.
Yeah, if the score holds up, we could have a JV Varsity tie in terms of their scores, 3-0 and 3-0.
3-0, 3-0. Absolutely. Header nearly makes its way to McCandless, yet picked up there by Amato. Taken away with a chip shot there. Now it's Gray. Strong forward pass to find Martin. Still reclaimed. Crossing paths. Deflected by McCandless. McGreal. To head. In the goal and a header there by Walper once again. Deflected far side of the goal and collected by Poor. Monroe with possession now. 5 minutes on the clock. Score 3-0. Hornets leading the way. And once again, folks, if you want to catch some more action on SalineLive.com, we'll be back on the air tomorrow for a volleyball matchup where JV will be playing at 5:30 and Varsity at 7. Altogether, it'll be a fantastic game. And make sure to tune in. You can catch it all on SalineLive.com.
In the game for Monroe, number 19, Miguel Diaz.
Share of the SEC Red. What's that? Sweet is going to share of the SEC Red. Yeah, and then we can probably give that score out there. If Skyline wins, Sweet will be outright. And right now, Skyline 4 tie.
So right now is what we're hearing in the back of the box is what's happening in the SEC Red, where Skyline and Pioneer are playing each other in their match, and if Skyline wins, Saline becomes the outright winner of the SEC Red, or ties as well. And then if they lose and Pioneer wins, then they share the title altogether. So it'll be an interesting scenario that relies on another team's matchup.
Saline will still, though, win at the very least a part share of the SEC Red, which is a great accomplishment for the Hornets as the men's soccer team continues their SEC Red dominance. Although it's a very competitive division with, you know, teams like Skyline, Pioneer, then you have in the white Dexter. So it's a very SEC, obviously in all sports, is a very competitive. Great
Solid
pass
forward
there
pass
by
to Walper.
McClandis.
Chips
There
it up
it
and
is.
finds it, and it goes through the net.
And there comes the.
That's going to be a goal.
Goal by number 22, Jake Walper.
You see a mob of the Hornets as they're so happy for one of their senior leaders, Jake Walper. You love to see that, and that's that team chemistry and camaraderie that you were talking about, Patrick. And that's awesome to see.
That's always a fantastic moment. 4-0, Hornets on top. 3:06 remaining, and what a fantastic goal there. Walper, nothing but heat, and puts it through the net, out the right side. Sent right back downfield by Monroe once again, and now it's going to be McGreal racing down. Kolosinski on the far side. Pass back to McGreal. Inside to Gray. Quick touch by McCandless. Forward pass trying to find its way to Kent and contained inbounds, but it looks like it's been called offsides. Malik to take the opening kick here once again. Sent right downfield. Deflected by Head and collected by Gray once again.
There's that speed.
Works through two defenders. And now to the Kolosinski on the wing. Centering pass picked up by McCandless, and just too right on that one as it goes up and out of bounds once again. How to take the kick here. Headed by Flores and picked up by Gray. Chip shot sent far side, and Monroe's able to work it back into Saline territory. 1 minute to play on the clock. Lawrence to McCandless. Very solid pass far side to Kolosinski, and he goes up for it. Just not on target. Out of bounds as Monroe takes over. Throw in taken by Monroe on the far side. Kent with a solid forward pass. Oh, pardon me, pass to Kent as down he goes. And he goes up and out of bounds, and Monroe takes over.
There it is. Saline will win 4-0 on senior night. And it's a great victory for the Hornets. And again, another great ending to a great season for the Hornets. Home season.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic, fantastic way to finish out here at Hornet Stadium. Once again, they've earned a share right now, and Skyline wins after their matchup with Pioneer, and then the Hornets will win outright, or if Skyline ties with Pioneer, the Hornets will win outright altogether. So it's very exciting to see what's going to happen. Skyline is up 1-0 over Pioneer as we speak, so it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out in the end. Now, don't forget, folks, we'll be back on the air at 5:30 tomorrow for a volleyball matchup, and it's a doubleheader, so you can catch us at 7 again for the varsity. Well, 5:30 will be JV. And as always, I'm Patrick Canavan.
I'm Sam Jane.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Good night.